next up, I have the Tonight Show. With Johnny Carson, arguably the greatest late night host of all time. With the second being David Letterman, and maybe Norm Macdonald could have been third. And this is your cousin on the Tonight Show. This is a 12-minute segment. It's going to be a little long, but this is your cousin. I believe your cousin went on the Tonight Show once.
Now, the whole world probably knows by now. You would have to live in a cave somewhere in a country that has no radio, newspapers, no television, or even a guy running along would probably know this. But Monday night in San Diego, Lou Brock of the St. Louis Cardinals became the Major League all-time stolen base runner.
He's your cousin, right?
Right. His 893rd base. Now, that was thought to have been an impossible task because Ty Cobb, who was a legendary baseball player, stole 892, and I think that lasted for half a century, 50 years. So, obviously, Lou Brock is going to end up in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and it's a great kick to have him here tonight. Would you welcome Lou Brock?
Got a baseball base in his hand. He stole the record amount as of that time. There's your cousin.
Yeah.
You know, there are a few times in sports when records are set, like Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's, or whether it's a guy pitching his second, third shutout or something like that, and then you pulling something like this off, which was really thought to be impossible. And congratulations, probably, for the 8 millionth time since you did it.
Thank you, Johnny.
And what is that, Lou? As if I didn't know.
This is actually the base that was stolen that particular night. This is number 893. And
they stopped the game and gave you the base right at second, didn't they?
Yeah, I haven't put it down since.
You hold on. So that's the actual base. It wasn't not a rip-off. That's it.
Not a rip-off. You'd like to take a look at it?
Yeah, sure would.
Sure.
But hey, isn't that nice? Is this the way they put them into the into the soil out there?
Right.
They used to tie them down. I remember in the early days they had little wire things on the side and tied them down. This is obviously a new idea. And they got right on the back. 893, 829, 77. What are you going to do with that?
But perhaps it go on display and then wind up at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And,
be a crazy bicycle seat, wouldn't it? Obviously, that will end up in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You must be very proud of that. When you were a kid, and you had a funny story. I didn't know this, that you went into baseball in kind of a roundabout way. You weren't... it happened when you were in school? Somebody told me when you were a kid, and you almost kind of got... one of your teachers really kind of got you into it, right?
In fact, I was... in the classroom, I was about fourth grade, Johnny, and there was the A student, the B student, the C students, and there were the rest of us. And the rest of us would shoot spitballs and that kind of bit. And I had a spitball aimed at a little girl in front of me that sort of slipped out of my hand, and she ducked and hit the instructor. And her punishment was to go to the library and look up some baseball players and give a report in front of the class. And I went to the library and looked up Don Newcomb, Roy Campanella, Joe DiMaggio, those kind of names. And lo and behold, I got interested in the fact that, hey, these guys have a lot of fun and make a lot of money doing what they do. And the other part of her punishment was go out on the softball field and play first base and catch every ball thrown to me. I had never been out there before. And if I didn't catch it, at that time they had the strap, they could give me 5 licks.
I remember that was a ruler when I was in school.
Yeah. Oh. And you should have seen, everything was thrown to me. I was like this, like that. And finally, I wound up dropping 1 or 2 of them, but the thrill of it all was not to drop the ball. And lo and behold, I became very interested from that day forward.
What's that teacher's name, do you remember?
Yes, Sophronia Young Johnson. In fact, when I was in the 4th grade, that's when it all happened.
Right. Hey, that's a great story. That's funny. We should show you, for those of you who didn't see that game, first of all, the base, which tied the record of Ty Cobb, the 892nd, and then in the same game, did you want to do that? Was that your plan that night, not only to... Or can you plan a steal? I mean, of course you plan a steal, obviously, but you say, hey, tonight is the night, because a lot of people have been saying you've been under pressure, although you said you weren't under too much pressure.
I don't think you can plan a stolen base. There are so many variables until it's really hard to determine. I think the man who hits directly behind you controls your destiny.
Right.
Because he can either swing the bat or not swing the bat. But you got the pitcher and catcher, very important. You got the umpire who's going to make that final decision. A lot of close plays, I might think I'm safe. He might think that you're out. So you never have the absolute not knowing exactly.
So you just have to, it's a gut, and you feel it, and when you can do something like that, there's really no explaining it to anybody, is there? I mean, it all comes together and you go.
Right, absolutely. I think what happens most of the time, you look at a pitcher, look at a catcher, and you see they are rather nervous somewhat, and you ascertain that they're nervous, and you got one thing going for you at that particular moment. If you were to run, you're the only person in the ballpark who's dealing with absolute at that moment, so you have the advantage at that
You're
moment.
the only one who know you're...
Only one. Everybody else gets the base.
I would have guessed that when you stole that base, and everybody has to assume that is the biggest stolen base or most memorable, but I understand it's not, as far as you're concerned.
No, it's not. In fact, 1964 is perhaps the biggest stolen base I ever had. We were trailing Philadelphia, I think, something like 6.5 games, 12 or 13 games to go. I recall in the top of the ninth inning, I got a base hit and stole second base, and Dick Groth, the next hitter, hit a one-hopper to second base rather than a double play. We had a man on third base and one out. I think Bill White came up and hit a single, and Ken Boyer hit a triple and tied the game. We wound up winning the ball game in the 13th inning, and that same year we won the pennant by one ball game.
So that was the one that kicked it all off.
I ever had.
That's interesting. Ball players are amazing to me. You have memories. You can remember who hit, what they hit, earned run averages of the pitcher, all of that stuff. It's just automatically. Of course, you have to know all of the pitchers and the catchers, absolutely all their idiosyncrasies, their habit, their moves, their little idiosyncrasies, don't you? Because that's part and parcel of what you do.
Oh, absolutely. You get involved with it. You get involved with a thing called body motion, body rhythm, body language.
Are there certain tip-offs? I mean, if you can tell that somebody's going to go to first base and make a throw. I remember in tennis for a long time, there was a tennis passion. I think it was Don Budge, and was watching somebody and said, I can tell you every time he's going to serve an ace or go for an ace because there was a certain little motion of the way he moved. And I'm just wondering, are there certain things you know about pitchers that they don't know that you know? In other words, something they do. They may go to the eyebrow, or they may just make one little motion, and you haven't let them in, but you know that they're going to make the move to first?
Yeah, there's one pitcher, in fact, a couple of them, and what they would do, this is a right-handed pitcher. He would look right at third base and go through the stretch, and he would throw to first base. And every time he was throwing home, he went through a stretch motion looking right at you, which is the home plate area.
Right.
And so you knew that the moment he came to a set position and looking home, he just take off.
No names. Don't mention the name, because that's strange. That's got to be a pretty good advantage when you know he's not going to first and you can make your move.
Oh, yeah, and there are left-handers that look straight at you, Johnny, and they have a tendency to look at you at first base, and then he looks down. And he looks down, and he throws home. Then when he never looked down,
here it comes.
First base. So
how about the guy on first base? Or do they make any little preparatory motions that when they know that pitcher might be coming, or they always really have to be ready, don't they?
Well, the first baseman, he's a guy that a catcher rely upon sound sometime rather than sight, and they like to hear the expression "there he goes." And most good base runners would be the person yell, "There he goes."
While he's yelling, "There he goes,"
he's standing at first base because the catcher is going to react to sound. And so many times you get a catcher running across home plate, ready to fire the ball, and nobody's running. These are the mix-up you try to throw into the game a bit.
That's interesting. I like the idea that you can read those idiosyncrasies of pitchers, and some of them don't know about it. You broke also Maury Wills, who was a great base stealer, single record in a season, which I think was 118, right?
Right.
What have you got left to do now? Stolen bases, all you can do is add to that, of course. Ty Cobb also had a great batting average, didn't he? Which they say may never be broken. Something like 400?
Well, he had a lifetime average of 367, and one of the greatest name in the game. In fact, he, along with Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and many others, the top name players, sort of set the standards in the game. And when you come along and can tie a record that equivalent to those names, it make you feel really good.
How about it? How do the players feel about the Japanese ball player, who just, in Japanese baseball, is one of the biggest stars in the world over there, and he just broke Hank Aaron's home run record, but they say he hit the shorter fences in Japan and doesn't, of course, face the kind of pitching talent that ball players here do. That they figure that that's a record, that's a peculiar record to that style of game that they play.
Well, I saw him play. In fact, I played against him back in '68. We went over there on a
He's a hell of an athlete, isn't he?
He's a tremendous athlete. He's big for his size. He's about 6'1", weighs about 180 pounds. We feel that he's certainly been a good ball player here. Right. Whether to hit that many home runs, they do play in a smaller ballpark.
Right.
But the depth of the style of play over there wasn't as great as here in the big leagues.
Right. How do you answer the sportscasters who say Lou Brock's never stolen home base?
Well, Lou Brock had never stole home base on a direct attempt. Now, I've been credited with a steal of home on the front end for double steal, but 1965 was the most frightening thing that ever happened to me. I was out there on third base, and like everybody else, you jump up and down a few times, and the adrenaline starts to flow, and you say, gee, maybe I can sneak in and steal this home base here.
That's got to be a great...
And so I take off. I take off a home plate, and as I made my approach, and I got 10 feet away, Johnny, and just froze. I just froze in my track, and I couldn't move because on my approach, that bat got as big as this room. I wasn't sure the hitter, Tim McCarver, was going to swing, or did he know I was coming? And I stood there, and the bat comes around. Sure enough, as big as this room, is fouling the ball off. I went back to third base, and I have never tried.
I've never moved since. No, I never thought of that. I like a dummy was only thinking of the catcher there, but of course the guy is swinging the lumber, and you got to run right into that.
Yeah.
Remember a week ago when Parker, the Jaeger was at the plate, and Steve Parker weighs what, 280?
Not quite by 240, though.
And he came in from third, and it was just, I've never seen a collision like that in baseball. And Jaeger hung onto the ball, and he was out. That's got to take a lot of guts to know that he's coming and take that shot.
Well, a lot of catchers like to feel that they can handle a lot of things because they got all the equipment on.
Yeah.
But when Dave Parker is coming at you, it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have.
To be in a suit of armor, you're going to get wrapped.
You're going to get racked up pretty good.
See, that's super. That is so great.
I got to tell you also that Steve Yeager and I have been incentive to play against each other for years, and he's been a tough catcher on me so far as being thrown out. And I have to say I was a little disappointed, and we played here over the weekend, and Steve was not in the lineup. He was sore from that bang-up.
Right.
And I wanted to send my trainer over to have him all patched up and put him back in the game. Because I thought if I had a chance to break a record, certainly I want to go against one of the best, which would have been a Steve Yeager. But when the record said you take it on the
I thought you were going to patch him up and get him in the lineup there. Oh, good thinking. Hey, can you stay a little while tonight?
Sure.
I know Don Rickles would like to say hello when he comes out here, and he might have a few things to say about your record, Lou, which are not quite my style. But we'll be right back after this. Stay where you are.
You know, he introduced me to Jimmy Banks, Reggie Smith. I think it was Reggie Smith, or who else he introduced me? We went over to Willie Horton place on Livernois, and let's see, we had dinner down on Washington Boulevard, downtown, at a restaurant, seafood restaurant, and who else? Another guy went with us. Anyway, they got in my car, and the people came walking down the street, and they jumped on the hood of my car. I had a new car, just got a new car.
Yeah.
A new 71 Buick, deuce and a quarter, you know.
Wow.
They jumped on the hood on the fender and said, "We're not moving unless we get autographed." Man, that made me so angry. I didn't know those people. They just said, "We're not moving, not getting off this car until y'all give me an autograph."
That's rude.
They did. We was going to Willie Horton bar on Livernois. I took them over there. And who's the other guy with me? There was three of us. And he introduced me. We was at Howard Johnson down across from Sheridan Cadillac on Washington Boulevard. Across the street was a motel or something like that. They was all staying over there, and we met over there for breakfast or dinner or something. So another time he called me, and he told me to go to a place I lived on San Juan, 7 Mile. Someone lived on a street behind me. He was managing his car dealership in St. Louis, but he lived there behind me, so he told me to go over there. He had a package for me.
Wow.
I went over there, and he had a big life-size statue of him.
Wow.
And I put it in the basement.
Yeah.
And I had a poodle. And every time my dog would go to bed, he would bark because he thought it was a real person.
That's amazing.
And when I closed my store, people came by. I sold a lot of records out of my basement. They come over there and look at things. And this owner of the record store, he was in Oak Park
Yes, sir.
on Main Street somewhere out there. And he bought a lot of records that I had, and he wanted that poster. I mean, that's...
It was a cutout. Was it a cutout?
Cutout. And if I had it now, it'd be worth some money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because he
sir.
retired and da-da-da-da. So he said, I wouldn't sell it to him, but he said, let him have it. I always own it. It's in his store. I forgot the name of the store and who it was. I don't know, but anyway, I don't have it no more.
Wow.
I always regretted that.
I'm so
But
sorry.
I was saving it. I had so much stuff, man, to carry around. I didn't want to carry it.
Yeah.
But I thought that was nice. He sent that to me.
Yeah.
And it's legendary now.
Yes.
Yeah. And when he would come in town, he would always call me.
Wow.
Last time, when he came in to do a promotion for, and he was at Sears on Woodward. I went and met him out there, and we had lunch, because he was on stage dancing, and I was in the audience out there.
Yeah.
And what else? We went to All-Star game.
Wow.
His wife, we all had tickets together. We would sit together with his wife, my wife, his wife.
Right.
Yeah, Lou always called me. We always got together when he came in town. Too bad he left.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He had the Brockabrella.
Right, the umbrella I had. Yeah, put him around. He had the copyright. I don't know what happened. Somebody told me something else was different.
Other inventions by him. Yeah. I think there may have been another one too. Yeah, he was a very multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
Just like you, a natural businessman.
When we lived in Arkansas, we was little, we saw him a couple of times, but I know he left and went to Louisiana, I believe. And he grew up down there, Farmersville, somewhere down there. And I didn't see him anymore until he came here, and was still in those bases, and St. Louis came and played the team here. And so my mother said, won't you go by and won't you call him up and da-da-da. So I did.
Wow.
He came over. He said, I don't remember. He said, introduced me as his cousin. Jimmy Bain said, what cousin? He said, I don't know. We don't have to be no. He said, we just cousins.
That's beautiful.
So we ordered the food, and the waitress brought the ticket. And we were out, and he put his hand on top of mine and said, I got it. It wasn't, he had $100 bill. I had a $50 bill. It was enough to pay for what we was getting, because we just had some coffee and some donut or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there was enough to get it, so he said, no, I got it. I said, I got it. I don't have much to eat, I can take care of this. We had life together.
That's beautiful.
But he had first cousin here, been living in Inkster. He would never call his first cousin there, because, see, when you get your people, they always look at hands out.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
I don't blame you. Yes.
And, I go out there and stop at the airport in Inkster, where his first cousin lived. And when I go to the airport or something, and then they go and hey, you got a new car. You want to go get in the car. Give me this, give me that. They want you,
Yes, sir.
So when he would come in, he never called nobody but me.
Wow.
Because
that's beautiful.
I think the
What
way
an
he
honor.
carries himself, nobody wants you can't give away shit, man, because I'm just saying, that's why I pick up the tab,
That's beautiful. Yes, sir.
And got me passes to the World Series. I didn't offer no money for it.
Wow.
But he didn't pay me, he get tickets. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so, but I don't, but that's what people do. They depend, because I've been in a club and somebody comes, hey, please buy me a drink. How you know what I got in my pocket?
Right.
You don't ask nobody to buy you no drink.
Amen. Yes.
That's what these people do.
Right.
I don't go around those people. You
Right.
know, you know that.
Yes, sir.